Let's get ready to story!
Once upon a time, there was a princess who just really didn't like princess things. We're talking about me. I'm the princess. I didn't like to wear pink. I didn't like wearing dresses. I didn't like having my hair done. I hated playing with dolls. I liked to get dirty, and I liked to collect bugs and collect rocks, and I liked to ride my bike and get in fights. One time my parents saw me pushing my building blocks around going vroom, so they bought me some toy cars. They always encouraged me to play the way I wanted to play. They never really told me I had to like pink things, but they did force me to wear dresses on Easter and on Christmas. When I was in kindergarten, I really loved to read. It was when I learned how to read. I loved reading. I loved reading about anything, but animals were always my favorite. And in fact, I loved animals so much that when my friends wanted to play house, I always wanted to play the dog. And I couldn't understand why nobody else said, but wait, I want to play the dog. They were missing out. But I digress. So I liked to read and I liked to write. And every day in kindergarten, we kept a journal. This is how we learned how to make complete sentences. And we just had to do this, write 3 or 4 sentences every day before lessons started. Well, one day my teacher called my mom and she said, Melanie wrote something in her journal today that was a little concerning. You might want to talk to her about it. So my mom calls me into the kitchen. I bring the journal. She reads, I follow along. Dear journal, I had oatmeal for breakfast. Melanie, it's breakfast. Breakfast. Today I petted my cat Muchka before school. Melly, there's no K in school. How many times have I told you that? And Melanie, what is this word? W-E-R-W-U-F? Werewolf, Mama. I'm a werewolf. You're a what? How do you know what a werewolf? What have you been watching? Where did you learn this? I just don't understand. Clearly, she couldn't see that, yes, I'm a werewolf, and she was not amused. I'm only 5, but I can see that I have to reassure my mom. Mama, it's okay. At nighttime, when everybody goes to sleep, I turn into a wolf, and I jump from house to house, and I fight bad guys, and I howl at the moon. I'm a good werewolf. She still wasn't amused. She stayed unamused until my dad got home. I had to repeat the whole story to him. They spent the whole time telling me, Melanie, no, you are not a werewolf. And I said, yeah, don't you remember that time that there was a bad guy and he took the cat and I had to rescue her and she scratched him and I bit him and then everything was okay and we went home and we had popsicles? They didn't remember this story. You see, when I pushed my building blocks around and said vroom, they thought my imagination was clever. But when I told people I was a werewolf, they thought that my imagination was overactive and it might get me into trouble. But the thing is in my imagination, I could be anything. I wasn't this short little dorky girl that didn't have a lot of friends or was shy or liked to play the dog when you played house. I could be anything I wanted to be. I didn't know the difference between real things and imaginary things, and I didn't know that that was a problem. Well, years passed. I still love to read. I still love animals. I don't play the dog during house anymore. I occasionally wear dresses when it's not Christmas. I did eventually learn the difference between real things and imaginary things. And even though I don't tell anybody that I'm a WERWUF, occasionally I still like to howl at the moon. Thank you.